Hi there, students. Prescriptivism and Descriptivism. Okay, these are two ways of looking at language. Prescriptivism says that there are norms, there are rules that must be used when using language. That you've got to follow certain grammatical rules in order to speak correctly. On the other side, you could have descriptivism, which is the opposite of prescribing norms. And language, any language, is good as long as it clearly describes what you want it to say. So prescriptivism, saying that there are very clear rules about language, and I think some languages are much more prescriptivist than others. English itself, I think, is a descriptivist language, that what people use is correct. If lots and lots of people use it, then this is correct English. English is very malleable. It's a very good language for inventing things. In prescriptivism, you're not allowed to invent. You're only allowed to do the things that the language, the rules of the language tell you. And this may be toward dealing with spelling, with pronunciation, with vocabulary, with morphology, with syntax. And prescriptivists are linguistic purists, that the language has to be like that, and it always has to be like that. Now, personally, I am a descriptivist, and I think if you actually look at descriptivism and prescriptivism, I think linguists are descriptivists. They look at the language and they listen to examples of how it's used. Whereas I think school teachers are prescriptivists. You've got to do it like this. I before E except after C. But one of the things I've discovered as an English teacher is every time you give a rule, a student puts up their hand and says, and what about? So I before E except after C. Let's see, how do I spell the word weird? W-E-I-R-D. Well, you see, that's the problem. Certainly in English, is the prescriptive rules don't work. And I was never taught English grammar at school. So I think English is a very descriptivist language. There are other languages which are much more prescriptivist, and there is a Royal Academy that maintains the language, that stops the language from changing. And I think languages are something that are alive. Languages are always something that change, and therefore prescriptivism, stopping it from changing. But where do neologisms come from? Yeah, neologisms come from descriptivism. Yeah, from linguistic description, from changing it. But prescriptivism, certainly for I think for language, is not the right thing, because languages are alive. They are always evolving. They're always changing, and therefore you have to accept new things. Now, you can also actually use this word prescriptivism or prescriptivist for philosophy, and prescriptivist philosophy says that some things are morally right and other things are morally wrong. And I would say no. I think it depends on the situation. Because I think prescriptivism in philosophy is just telling someone what they must or must not do. And I think every situation is different, and we must view situations, each situation individually. So prescriptivism is the idea that the possibility to it is possible to lay down rules for the correct use of language, and I don't think that's true, because languages are always changing. Linguistic prescriptivism has judgments on what usage is socially or politically correct and what is not. And I think this is one of the problems with prescriptivism. Prescriptivist, somebody who says that we must do the prescribed things, not proscribe, but prescribe with an E. To prescribe is to tell someone what they must do, what they must have, is to make rules, not to proscribe, which means to prohibit. So grammatical rules prescribe how words may be used together. But I think really you can put words together in any way that the listener will understand them, and I think that really is the point. So prescriptivism is the belief that there are right and wrong ways to use language, and I think if enough people use a different way of working, then the language has evolved. So prescriptivism and descriptivism, prescriptivist, descriptivist, prescribe, not proscribe. So bye for now.